My bad. I guess some things are just too fragile for a freelancer to handle. My cousin Leo smirked as he swept his hand across the mahogany sideboard, intentionally knocking my vintage Leica camera to the marble floor. The lens shattered with a sickening crack. My Aunt Sarah didn't gasp, she just adjusted her pearls and sipped her vintage Bordeaux. Honestly, Jade, why did you even bring that relic here? It's cluttering up Leo's celebration. They thought I was the family charity case, the one they invited to these galas just so I could help the caterers and fix the guest Wi-Fi. They saw a 29-year-old in a thrifted blazer. They didn't see the woman who had authorized a $14 million acquisition before breakfast. Leo has a real job now, Sarah gushed to the room, her voice dripping with artificial honey. He's the new senior director at Apex Dynamics. He's finally bringing some actual prestige back to this family name. I didn't argue. I didn't mention that I founded Apex in a rented garage 6 years ago. I just knelt, picked up a shard of glass, and felt the sharp edge against my thumb. It was a cold reminder, Leo hadn't even finished his first week of orientation. He had no idea that the secret CEO, who signed his $40,000 relocation check, was currently standing in his kitchen, being told to take out the trash that I didn't snap. I didn't even raise my voice. I just placed the broken camera on the counter and walked into the kitchen to grab a trash bag, exactly like they expected me to. Leo followed me, his footsteps heavy and arrogant on the tile. He leaned against the industrial fridge, tossing a gold-plated lighter in the air. You know, Jade, I almost feel bad for you, he said, his voice thick with unearned victory. I'm looking at my new compensation dashboard, $40,000 signing bonus, a 6-figure base, and a company car allowance that's probably more than you made all last year. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a crumpled $50 bill, flicking it at my chest. For the camera. Buy yourself something that actually works. I watched the bill flutter to the floor. I didn't pick it up. Instead, I glanced at the clock on the wall. It was 4:58 p.m. In the corporate world, the minutes between 4:55 and 5 o'clock on a Friday are the most dangerous. It's when the delete keys are pressed. Is there something else, Leo? I asked, my voice as flat and cold as a sheet of ice. Yeah, he sneered, stepping closer. When you're done with the trash, my friends need more ice on the patio. Try to move a little faster. Some of us actually have futures to celebrate. He turned and walked away, laughing. He didn't realize that in exactly 90 seconds, the server at Apex Dynamics would sync the day's administrative logs. He was walking toward the bar, but he was headed for a cliff. People wonder how you can own a company and still be invisible. In the world of high-stakes tech, anonymity isn't just a preference, it's a tactical advantage. I built Apex Dynamics on the principle of the ghost founder. I don't do magazine covers, and I don't attend ribbon cuttings. I move through my own offices as a consultant or a freelance auditor. It allows me to see the rot before it spreads. It allows me to see exactly who people are when they think nobody important is watching that I pulled my phone from my pocket. No flashy cases, no cracked screen, just a custom encrypted terminal with biometric overrides. While Leo was outside bragging about his prestigious new life, I was navigating the back end of the Apex HR portal. I bypassed the standard dashboard and went straight into the conduct and ethics repository. Every executive contract I sign has a zero-tolerance clause. It's not about performance, it's about character. If an employee engages in harassment, bullying, or brings disrepute to the brand, even off the clock, the contract doesn't just end. It implodes. I opened the probationary hires folder. There he was, Leo Vance. Status, active. Level, senior director. Beneath his name sat the figure that gave him so much confidence, sign-on bonus, $40,000. Dispersed, 9 a.m. today, the money was in his account, but the ink wasn't dry on his soul. I didn't need to hack the system, I was the system. I just had to decide if I was ready to pull the lever. The sun had dropped, leaving the patio bathed in the fake warmth of golden floodlights. Aunt Sarah was in the center of it all, her voice rising above the clinking of crystal. It's a new era for us, she declared, her eyes finding me as I emerged from the kitchen empty-handed. Leo is finally where he belongs. It's a shame, really, that some people are content staying at the bottom of the ladder while others climb. Jade, dear, stop standing there looking like a ghost. Go help the caterers with the dessert tray. And try to look happy for your cousin. His success is the only thing keeping this family relevant. I didn't move toward the trays. I walked straight to the center of the terrace, the silence following me like a cold front. He isn't climbing any ladder, Sarah, I said. My voice wasn't loud, but the clarity of it cut through her speech like a razor. Excuse me, she hissed, her face reddening. My son has a real job. He's an executive at a multi-million-dollar firm. What do you have? I looked at my watch. 5:01 p.m. The AC batch had processed. The digital guillotine had dropped. He had a job, I said, meeting her gaze with a calm that seemed to terrify her. I just fired him. A beat of stunned silence held the air. Then, Leo stepped forward, a mocking laugh bubbling in his throat. You fired me? You're a freelancer who can't even afford a new camera. You don't even know the name of the CEO at Apex. I know her very well, I replied, pulling my phone out and turning the screen toward him. She's the one who just revoked your security clearance. Leo's phone chimed in his pocket, a sharp, mechanical ping that felt like a gunshot in the sudden quiet. He pulled it out, his thumb trembling as he swiped the notification. The color didn't just leave his face, it vanished, leaving him a sickly shade of gray. Authentication revoked, he whispered, staring at the screen. Corporate account deactivated. What is this nonsense? Aunt Sarah barked, stepping between us. Leo, call your boss. Tell them your cousin is playing some sick prank. I am his boss, I said. I didn't yell. I didn't have to. I just signaled toward the driveway, where a black sedan had just pulled up. Out stepped a man in a charcoal suit carrying a leather attaché case. It wasn't a party guest. It was my lead counsel. Mr. Vance, the lawyer said, sliding a document onto the glass patio table. As of 5 p.m., your employment with Apex Dynamics has been terminated for cause. Specifically, violation of the professional conduct clause and reputational risk. Leo began to stammer. But, the bonus. I already spent it. I put a down payment on the Porsche this afternoon. That's the twist, Leo, I leaned in, my voice a clinical whisper. The $40,000 signing bonus was structured as a forgivable loan. It only becomes a gift after 12 months of service. Since you were terminated for gross misconduct on day 5, the loan is now in default. You have 24 hours to return the full amount to the corporate treasury, or we move to seize the assets. The aunt's pearls seemed to choke her. You can't do this. He's family. Family is a relationship, Sarah, I replied, this is just business. And business is closed. The screaming started then, high-pitched, desperate sounds of a lifestyle evaporating in real time. Aunt Sarah was shrieking about loyalty, while Leo stood slumped over the glass table, the weight of a $40,000 debt crushing his spine. I didn't stick around for the encore. I didn't need to see them crumble. I had already seen who they were when they thought they were on top. That I walked to my car, the gravel crunching under my boots with a rhythmic, satisfying snap. I pulled out my phone one last time. I didn't open the HR portal. I opened my contacts. Aunt Sarah. Cousin Leo. I hit delete on both. I wasn't just removing names, I was clearing out the noise that had occupied my head for years. As I pulled out of the driveway, I saw the blue glow of a tow truck in the rearview mirror. It seemed Leo's company car was being reclaimed even faster than his dignity. I turned onto the main road and let the silence of the cabin wrap around me. It wasn't a lonely silence. It was the quiet of a house after a storm has finally passed. Back at my desk, I looked at the shattered Leica. It was broken, but it had served its purpose. It had captured the exact moment the mask fell off. I closed my laptop, the sleek metal clicking shut like a final period at the end of a long, exhausting sentence. For the first time in 29 years, I wasn't the failure. I was just Jade. And Jade was finally at peace.